Welcome to AstroTwins Radio, your cosmic GPS for life, love, and everything written in the stars. We're Tali and Ophira Edut, the AstroTwins, here to decode the astrology of the moment and help you navigate your destiny like a pro.
Hey friends, we are here in Seattle together for the week of August 25th to 31st, counting down to September.
Yep, I'm here with my daughter Sibel and my doggy Magnolia, who may pop in for an appearance. She and Lux are currently separated, chewing on their bones because it's Virgo season. Virgo rules pets, so pets may enter the chat. But hey, everyone, yes, it's our first time recording together in Seattle. I haven't been here in like 2.5 years.
It's crazy. Mm-hmm. We're actually sitting on my sun porch, which wasn't here when you were here last time.
Nope.
Because the Sagittarius needs to constantly feel like I'm in the great outdoors. And if that means living under a tempered plastic roof 12 months of the year, I'm here for it.
Sounds like the Sagittarius dream. So yeah, well, I feel like it's par for the course for Virgo. I admit I may be an unpopular voice here because most people do not miss Leo season, but I miss it a little bit. But I've
only been like 2 days,
Well, I feel the Virgo-ness of it all. I feel the back to school-ness, even though we're not back to school ourselves, it's just I do feel that we're moving into that more serious new season known as fall, but we still have a month. Technically speaking.
And it's hot AF here anyways. But, that new moon in Virgo on Saturday, we covered it a little bit last week, but there's a couple things we didn't talk about. I mean, this new moon is so loaded. It's more loaded than a baked potato at Applebee's with flair. So it is the first in 2 back-to-back new moons in Virgo, which is unusual. Some years there are. It's like, a 13th moon. Some years there are 2 moons in a zodiac sign in a year. And Virgo gets that title this year. So this one is the first, and it basically initiates the cycle. It's like a new moon, an initiation in 2 parts. So whatever is coming up now to be processed, to be measured, to be worked with, we will be revisiting the issue again on September 21st when we have the second new moon, which is also a solar eclipse on the 21st of September in Virgo.
A lot of people are saying they already feel the eclipse. And, or I don't know. I mean, if you do, you do. How are you guys feeling? Are you noticing? I mean, eclipses kind of pull things up at the roots. They bring change upon us, ready or not. I always think that they're like, they're necessary because human beings tend to resist change. So the eclipses push us off the fence and have us make our move.
And I wonder, though, if it's because this new moon was forming a yod.
Yeah.
So a little bit about a yod, Y-O-D. That is a specific formation between 3 or more planets. It's what it looks like is if you were to draw a line between those planets in the sky, it would look like a witch's hat, like a thin, tall triangle.
And it's a yod is the Hebrew word for finger, pointer. It's when Jews read the Torah, they use a pointer called a yod. It's the finger of God or the finger of fate to follow along the scrolls. So a yod in the sky or in the birth chart is supposed to be especially charged with fate. I think Prince had two yods, right?
Prince
Princess
did.
Diana.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
Oh wow.
So the Yod formation is it portends change. It's like a disruption. So what happens, so if we're looking at this witch hat, imagine the base of it. Those planets are in what we call a sextile. They're two signs apart, approximately 60 degrees apart, which is a very friendly, easygoing angle. So if you ever notice, like, wow, I really get along with people who are two signs before me and after. We're Sagittarius, Libras, Aquarius, easy as can be. But the witch's hat tip is at this karmic inconjunct, also called quincunx, one of my favorite words in astrology, Quincunx. And that is this karmic angle between both of the 2 points at the base of the hat. So at the witch's hat tip, that's the apex of the yod, is this Virgo new moon. So it's really holding all the energy. So the sun and the new moon, the sun and the moon are always at the same point in the sky during the new moon, and the zodiac, the same degree. And so they are having this dialogue with Pluto and Aquarius, and then Saturn and Neptune and Aries. So Pluto and Aquarius is sextile, happily vibing with Saturn and Neptune and Aries. And all I can say for that is like broligarchs, GPT, AI fervor,
So I think of it though a little bit. My take on the yod is that the Virgo apex is very controlling, and then the Pluto and Aquarius is that systemic societal change, and then the Saturn and Neptune are the anger and the war. I mean, it's both.
Well, I mean, I think
both
the oligarch is like the bottom two, like the sextile
For
between
sure, it can be that
Pluto,
too.
Saturn, and Neptune is like really creating this like what it's
Tech,
showing up as,
Aquarius
because
is
Pluto
tech,
is like
yeah.
domination, control, secrets, and in Aquarius, it's like all the things that are like kind of what's going on, like this hostile government takeover and the broligarchs, just all of our systems being completely like overtaken and dominated. And then here's Saturn and Neptune and Aries kind of powering up some authoritarian energy. But I really do think like, it's also, we may
I
not
think there's a
see it
view.
yet.
There's that view too.
There's
like
that view.
the sinister view of the two sextiles, or the three sextile planets, and then there's the kind of like what is happening to the rest of us here, like
Right.
voicing our anger and wanting systemic change,
Or feeling like, wow, the systems are failing us. We need to create something new. So Pluto and Aquarius, it's like okay, we're not going to get our social security that we paid into. You've taken away our reproductive and bodily autonomy. Now what else are you going to
kidnapping people on the street and oh God.
I mean, we know the list goes
Yeah,
on and on.
yeah.
The latest egregious, like Christy Nome this week was like, it was so disturbing. Like, I don't know if you heard this, but it was like Trump told her to paint his stupid wall black because, it would make it hotter and people's hands would literally burn when they tried to climb it. And there was like this like press conference with like, and he couldn't believe it. Christy was out there. She did her, her ice Barbie photo op out there painting the wall and was like, she's like, I did just what you told me. And I was like, gag, narcissist daddy. Like, it was so like, yes, dad, yes. Yeah.
It's like 50% or more of this country just having a collective narcissistic father trauma response in public, like, are we just performing that publicly?
It's like the patriarchal puppet show going on.
Well, we'll be getting into this a little more in the weeks ahead,
But that Virgo new moon, what?
Yeah.
And the beginning of Virgo season, even this week, the sun is still, drifting through those early degrees of Virgo and, finishing out this yod formation. So here comes Virgo putting the checks and balances on, Pluto and Aquarius and Saturn and Neptune and Aries that are like totally going renegade and rogue. And this Virgo energy is like Epstein files, receipts, show us like, but now then you have like Ghislaine Maxwell, Ghislaine. Oh my God, I can't even, like, I've just blocked her, it's like, you know, just like saying, oh, I don't think Epstein killed himself, but it's just so, there's like, I don't know. I just think we're going to
receipts and fat. I mean,
like the bullshit is like, okay, like we need something new and there's stuff stirring, even though we can't see it yet. My point is that this Virgo new moon might be sparking some things that won't show up, or sparking some like civic leadership or service or people kind of organizing. But again, this is just the beginning of a cycle. We have a double new moon in Virgo, and this culminates next March with a total lunar eclipse with the full moon in Virgo. So there's like
what's
7
happening?
months
Yeah,
here
what's happening at the end of last week and into this week is going to have a sequel, kind of a reverb around September 21st of this year, and then also the Virgo apex of the yod is a reminder that facts and information and accuracy do matter. And we'll just have to see. We'll have to see how it plays out, because it could also be a manipulation of it all. But the quincunx of Virgo, the sharp, harsh, incompatible angle, like Virgo is saying, we're not going to do it your way, oligarchs. We're not. Virgo is
a little more analog, old school, just like, where's the data?
Well, I think the Pluto and Aquarius is like rushing ahead to progress without, while burying the truth. And Saturn and Neptune and Aries are also being forceful. It's like might is right, is that belief. And then, the Virgo sun and moon came along and said, whoa, hold on a second. So we'll see where that all goes.
I mean, this is giving me flashbacks to the turn of the century. We were on the vanguard of the internet. When we were in art school, we learned the first Adobe suite. We had Photoshop 1.0. There wasn't even a 1.0. It was just Adobe Photoshop at our University of Michigan computer lab. And we learned how, we built websites by hand.
95, learned how to do a little HTML just to build websites, because it was exciting to us. I think this is very relevant for Virgo season. I think what I used to even joke is like, you can either use the media as a tool or be a tool of the media. And when we were publishing a magazine, but it was very costly to produce in the early 90s. So when I found out that you could basically make your own magazine for free, using the resources of the University of Michigan, where we were at the time.
Paid enough in tuition.
Yeah,
it was that lab.
Yeah, it was like, oh, okay, we can use all the colors. We don't have to pay for ink. So we began digital media and publishing, because we thought, wow, we can get our message out to so many people, and just really creatively. So there's power.
Yeah, and I mean, it just reminds me of like when we were, as that grew from this thing that people were like, oh, isn't that cute? You guys are staying late in that computer lab, to everyone having these IPOs and thinking that their website idea was going to change the world, and getting like billionaires to back them. I just feel like the fervor that we're in with Pluto and Aquarius around AI, like, I'm just like, if one more person it's like, Okay, yes, this large language model is incredible. It also drains so much water, has a horrible impact on the earth, and
And
like
sometimes
we
it's just
also
flat out
human
wrong
beings, yeah,
and generic.
human beings need a purpose. We don't want to be replaced. We don't want to just collect universal basic income from Elon Musk while he takes over the entire planet. And that has been floated by him and Sam Altman of ChatGPT that, like, it's okay. Just don't work. We'll just take over everything and we'll just send you a check. Just chill and watch reality TV. I mean, for some people that might sound like a good idea, but that's complete. Just why even exist? I don't know. Maybe we'll come up with another reason to exist. But I don't want that money coming from. I don't want to be take. I don't want. Yeah,
Well,
no,
here's a little
no, thank you, no,
spoiler.
thank you.
We were working simultaneously on, a trend report that we're working on for the rest of the decade that you will be seeing with our 2026 book, some highlights there, and our Human Design for Astrologers course, which will be out this fall. And 2027 is a big turning point for many reasons. So, in Human Design, which is the love child of astrology and the I Ching, and we'll be showing you that too. But it is rooted in astrology and the degrees of the zodiac signs. So um, every 400 years, there is a cycle where four specific zodiac signs are dictating things, and four of the I Ching hexagrams and their energy together is setting the stage. And I've been really looking at it and looking back over these 400-year periods to see how humanity has advanced, how consciousness has evolved, what our greater lessons are. So it's these four zodiac sign slices and I Ching hexagrams that it's called a cross.
It's a mutable cross.
A mutable cross. It's Gemini, Sag, Virgo, and Pisces, and it will continue to be because there's about 5 pieces of each sign in there. So the ones that have been dictating us since 1615 is called the Cross of Planning. And
what's the cross of planning?
The cross of planning is about, involves focus, which is like the intense focus on details, skills, which is accumulating skills and knowledge and that kind of thing, and then family and commitment. So
interesting.
Yeah, so it's like for 400 years, we've been systematizing everything. We've been learning and quantifying and creating all these processes. But as you get toward the end of one of these 400-year cycles, the shadow of it really starts to appear as you kind of start to get ready for the merging into the next 400-year cycle.
So basically, since the 1600s, huh?
Yes, been going on. Yeah, so it's like the formation of the United States, the American Revolution, the Industrial Revolution, the US economy, the financial system, the creation of, mass media. We're coming out of the Renaissance and Enlightenment era into just really mass systemization of these things.
The Industrial Revolution.
Yeah. And we went from like sort of small families,
the
railroads, to being connected globally. We used our knowledge. Yeah, factories, Industrial Revolution, the global connections of the internet. And now we're coming to the end where, we have this thing, we've almost created so many systems that they've outpaced human capacity. Like, people can't keep up with technology. 1% owns all the wealth and hoards all the knowledge. The legal systems and the financial systems have gotten so complexified that they're not benefiting everyone. So the family piece of it, we've lost sight of what we're supposed to do for each other. So, we're moving into what's called the cross of the sleeping phoenix, which is the next round starting in 2027.
So this year, next year,
This year,
really
next
the
year,
wind down.
this
Yep.
year, next year, we're feeling that like overlap,
And we are going to have a little human design report in our 2026
Yeah.
book, which we'll be talking about more right in the beginning of September. And
Yep,
and
we're
giving
going
you
to be
the
releasing that again for some of you guys got our manifestation bundle. We're on the Lionsgate tarot ritual that we did on 8/8, and you found out the theme, which we will re-announce in September. We'll keep it a secret if you weren't part of that, but you will find out soon our 2026 theme. But our next cycle that we're moving into is called the cross of the sleeping phoenix, and we'll be sharing more about that and talking to our human design expert friends. But essentially it is about community and autonomy and individuality and respect for emotional individuality as well. So we're seeing this overlap of this insane oligarch billionaire stuff going on where they're trying to take over the planet, and people just really, really rising up with their humanity and fighting for the rights of people to be free no matter who they are, where they're from. I sound like a Backstreet Boys song now, but
who you are. Yeah.
that came on the other day. So
hey, as long as you love me, says the cross of the sleeping phoenix.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, I love that.
Human design is astrology, but
astrology plus I Ching and the chakras.
And so we're gonna, but the bridge hasn't been fully built for astrology people to understand it. So that's been one of the ways I've been distracting myself from all the
really
shit show of 2025.
Yeah.
But I'm really understanding that, it was kind of presented to humanity through this guy Ra in 1987. And I mean, he's no longer alive, but I'm like, it really isn't.
There were all these channels, like the woman, the Columbia professor who channeled A Course in Miracles. Like, I feel like that harmonic convergence era in the 80s, it was just like, we are going to pick a few messengers and download some information, and you are going to listen to it because it
resonates. Yeah, it's like all
even
of that.
Esther Hicks, Jerry and Esther Hicks were even. I mean, it's like it doesn't matter. It's just there's that resonance of truth that makes it worth at least digging into. But we are
during this nerdy Virgo season, I think the people that know the cosmic code are going to have some of the keys to the universe. Like, it is going to get us.
But also, that Virgo yod is also like question everything too. Like, okay, how does this, even if it's not something like with astrology, it's like you can back up mathematics. You can use math with the cycles, but you can't totally prove the esoteric part of it. But it's still that hypotheses over time and observation, and that has data that we work with and we use.
Well, as I was flying to Seattle, in the midst of this yod, the sun was in a yod yesterday. It was at 1 degrees Virgo, 1 degree. I stumbled on a Popular Mechanics article on consciousness in my news feed. I'm going to read the headlines of it because it's pretty.
Yeah, that was in Popular Mechanics too.
Popular Mechanics. The headline was, "Your consciousness can jump through time, meaning gut feelings are memories from the future, scientists say." I love the last two words of that. So, and it's really funny because before I saw this, I was on my way to the airport with my daughter and the dog, and we had two crappy seats. We both had middle seats separated. And I know Magnolia, our dog, I was like, she's not going to behave. So I asked a little group of friends that I talked to help me manifest two seats together, even though the plane was full. And an easy flight, nice flight attendants who would let the dog come out of her bag because I knew she wasn't going to stay in there. I won't name the airline so no one loses their job, but I think I experienced that because I was like, I was so abnormally anxious all day, like before this flight. I was like, this isn't. I even like left the house without my daughter's suitcase. I left the gate and the kind of back of the trunk of
like,
my.
how did you even do that?
I drove to thank goodness we stopped at Walgreens because we're gonna pick up Benadryl for the dog, and it was like, and I realized I hadn't even closed the hatchback in the trunk of the car, which is how I saw that her suitcase wasn't in there, which delayed us, caused us to be late for the flight and have to change to a later flight. Well, guess what? We got an entire row in the upgraded area to ourselves. The dog was out of the bag the whole time, chilling on a blanket between us, and it was a perfect thing. So I think that my consciousness was timeline jumping, as our friend Brandy calls it, to the future, knowing that something was going to go awry. And so, I mean, this article says, like, well, honestly, like, scientists don't even know if time really is linear or not, even though that's how we look at it and measure it. So I'm so here for those kind of conversations. That particular manifestation of Pluto and Aquarius and Neptune and Aries bending the
Time and space,
way that we've been
and also manifesting with the group, like on the plus side of Pluto. Pluto is a Scorpio. It's like, it is psychic, it is potent, it is visionary in that way of like kind of the hidden forces of life. So
it was very odd too.
Get your manifestation group chat.
I was like, guys, we manifested it. I just didn't know I was gonna have to miss my flight to do it, but that's sometimes, I mean, I just thought that was a really good thing. I was like trying to force it to be on that flight. Okay, and then as soon as I changed flights, I was so calm. So I don't know, I'd like really invite you guys listening to just kind of pay attention and notice. And like, if things are not flowing with ease, like maybe you are, maybe your consciousness is hopping to the future. And scientists say the showgirl of this week. And we're not talking about Taylor Swift's album, which is coming out on my daughter's birthday on October 3rd. So
we are talking about Venus, the planet of love and fashion and flair and vivaciousness, who is making her annual visit to Leo this Monday, August 25th until September 19th. And Venus in Leo is a time to show out, a time to bring that, don't go getting Mar-a-Lago faced or anything, but it is the end of the retro shade. So if you got that Pinterest board going with some style updates, or you're ready to do that fall shopping, if you're not dreading the new season, Venus and Leo can definitely inspire some good.
We're going to see some good fall fashion,
flair, some self-expressive flair, some fall music too. Yeah, the arts, great for the arts, and more like
performances, concerts. Hey, Venus and Leo, we're going to see Dua Lipa during that period. I'm looking forward to that.
2 years ago, we had Venus retrograde in Leo in the summer for that long time. So that's not going to happen for another 6 years again. But yeah, it really can stir up a little bit of romantic excitement.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, we know Leo has drama. I feel like this whole week is kind of sponsored by Venus, because we've got Venus and Leo on Monday, that's also forming a trine to Saturn and Aries. So things could also get kind of serious. Like Saturn is more structured and serious, but these are fire signs, which are really about independence and autonomy. So that hope that you can have all the romance and passion without losing your freedom. Like, can you have the commitment and the romance, just not the Esther Perel, like intimacy, eroticism, polarization? Can you have them with one person? Well, I think we're going to see some examples of that with Venus trine Saturn, or I hope so.
Maybe some interesting celebrity couple news too. That's
celebrity engagements and that kind of thing.
Not like Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau. Yeah.
I'm so not in the celebrity engagement era right now, but good on them. Will Taylor Swift end up getting engaged before her album comes out? Is it wrong of me to say I feel like it's a little too soon for another Taylor Swift album? I feel like we're still on tour I feel like the era's toward, I mean, God love the Sag woman that she is that prolific, that she is already pumping out a whole new album with an entirely new, like, theme and
her
everything
last
else.
one was like a few years ago, like the Tortured Poets Department. I mean, that was like what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's true. It's been a while, but I feel like she's just finished this like nonstop tour, and good for her. I mean,
she's probably got a lot to write about.
She's a projector, and they're kind of like coming into their own as we get to the 2027 human design point. But I don't know. I'm more, you know what? I think it's too. I think it's what's too much is like everybody wondering when Travis is going to propose to her, you know? Yeah, I don't really
Maybe they'll never get married, and good for them, because, you know, I mean,
I think they will. I think,
of course.
I just kind of wish, like, if I was advising her, I would tell her.
Prenups, I don't know.
I just would tell her, like, it's a 9-year, 2025, you know, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 adds up to 9. 9 is the end of a cycle. Next year is a 1 year. All the new things. I kind of feel like her whole showgirl thing.
Yeah, that's a part that
better with 2026.
That's a part that's out of sync. That's what it is.
I feel like it's timed right.
It's like you're talking about showgirls and the world is burning. It feels a
little tone deaf.
Yeah, I mean, it does.
Look, I you know, the Swifties will probably come for me for saying that. And like, I am all in favor of supporting her as a female artist. I love that she does not care. It's just kind of, I don't know, they're just the whole theme is like glitter sequins.
Yeah.
It's inspired by like something very surface level. From what I can see, it's not like, I mean, showgirls also were exploited. They were not, it's also kind of like I hate to say it, but it's kind of a condescending term to women. If I'm going to put on my Virgo women's studies hat, it's like, showgirl. I used to be a showgirl, you know, with the boss down at the, you know, the
which is fine if you actually live through that era, like Goldie Hawn, who was a Vegas showgirl, but you know,
he's also going to be 80 and is freaking awesome and has an incredible foundation helping young people understand their mental health and how their brain works. So that's my kind of show.
Or Pamela Anderson, like making a statement in the last show.
That's kind of weird too. Like Pamela Anderson just did Showgirl. So it's kind of like, I don't know, there's just something,
there's something about
it isn't sitting right for me. And it's not against Taylor Swift making all the music that she wants to make. I just feel like
the life of a showgirl. I mean, maybe like, does she consider her? Yeah, you know what it is? It's like, maybe it's like an ironic or humorous take on her life that she does love to rock a bodysuit and sequins. So maybe it's like me as a showgirl, but also even doing something that's like,
but the planet is burning, kids are being starved, Ukraine is being bombed, Trump is rolling out red carpets for Putin, you know, people are being kidnapped and sent to alligator frickin' Alcatraz, and Frankly,
And you're one of the most
give a damn
most
about anyone's sequence. Save the world with your billions of dollars.
well, and especially if you're like one of the most influential women, you have this incredible platform, and
your boyfriend probably, voted for a certain someone who wasn't a woman, even though
not.
Yeah, I would suspect he may have, and she didn't, thank God. I don't know. I just hope that whatever she's got planned, she proves me wrong and like uses it with pure tongue-in-cheek feminism.
It should get even a little more political. So this is being described. Let me read you the description. I had to go over to Wikipedia. It says, Swift described the project as a vibrant and lively album about her life as an entertainer. Swift adopted a provocative, showgirl-inspired orange theme for the album. Journalists describe it as the most glamorous and flamboyant visual aesthetic of her career. I mean, you are absolutely right. That is definitely fire. What? Save it. You should have saved it for the fire horse here, but like a vanity project
in a 9-year
when the world was burning.
Israel, Russia, Ukraine,
Sudan,
the Congo, the
United States,
like ice freaking multiplying in size. I mean, just the horror show of it all. Like, it is not the time for fluff. Like, no. It's not the time. And also, she hasn't even been off her tour long enough for me personally to miss her. Let us miss you. Wait for the invitation projector. Let us miss you before you, regale us with your own.
I mean, the Swifties might miss her for all we know, but I think the point is just is anyone out there who has a platform of that size,
and a bank account,
going to and I'm not saying
something.
It's just even if it's just women's reproductive rights, your generation is being turned into trad wives who are dying of sepsis because they have a miscarriage and have to carry
ectopic pregnancy to term, and
it just seems like people are just asleep on that in the the pop culture world, and maybe we've put too much in the hands of our pop stars and our musicians, but artists are the ones who have always carried the torch. And I'm just this year's art has been fairly disappointing. It's it's just last year we had Brat Summer at least, and we had Chapel Roan making a huge statement for the LGBTQIA community, and it's just I don't know, maybe
it's a 9-year. It's just it's not fertile.
Don't talk to me about Ethel Cain. I know people love her, but it's it's just not the same as somebody coming out bam, we need that next Madonna.
That's going to happen, I think, next year. So I don't know. I just feel like Wheeler is a poster child right now for not getting it right.
Yeah, last year we had Cowboy Carter, Beyonce totally shaking up the racism in the country music world. Anyways, we're going on and on, but yes, Taylor, you have a huge responsibility on your shoulders, and
I mean, it's even coming out right before October 7th, 4 days.
I mean, in her defense, she created it while she was on tour, so she was probably in that was the spirit she was in, but I would have delayed that release.
Pivot. I think for even Meghan Markle, she delayed with Love Meghan because of the LA fires. I'm not giving her a crown for that, but it was the right thing to do. It was no one needs to see your privileged cooking and hosting show when their entire lives and families and homes have been destroyed there.
It's like you don't really have the option to be political. Like,
Well, she was. She
no, I know, but it's
made
like,
a whole statement about voting for Kamala. So like
but it took her
the
a really
cat
long
lady
time
yeah,
to do
but she
that.
like we know the cat lady is out of the bag. So like maybe she'll look. Here's my wish. I hope that she is pretending that she's going to drop this really fashiony surface level project and that there's what they an Easter. I don't want an Easter egg. I want a freaking Easter bunny. If you're gonna be a Playboy bunny, then you better be a freaking
I want
Easter
the bunny from
bunny.
Donnie Darko. That's what I want.
Yeah, you bet. Like show up because
I know, like I'm especially white people, white women with platforms and fans, queer fans,
claiming to
fans
be
of color,
feminists.
fans around the world. Like, you don't get to keep on being in your soft girl era and
Or your showgirl era. Sorry to
yeah.
say.
Right. Yeah.
The show is
And
over.
we're
Say
not trying to
goodbye.
pick on Taylor because that goes for everyone. I mean,
No,
look,
she's just she's a meme for
and
what
look,
not to
like,
do.
we get it. This has been a really tough time for us as Jewish women. It's like our entire narrative that we were told our entire lives as granddaughters of literal Holocaust survivors. Our grandmother had to leave everything. She hid. It was like total Maria von Trapp. She hid in a convent in France to pretend to be a nun. Our grandfather's family vacationed with, in his words, Albert Einstein on the same lake in Germany. They had to leave everything behind. They weren't in concentration camps, but many of our relatives died. So
And we're sitting here watching, like, after learning never again and of all the atrocities that were done to our culture, watching the person who's leading the Jewish state do that to a whole other culture and destroy every value.
And
I shared this
impact on us even speaking up, dual impact, because us saying that will alienate members of our community who are never again, we have to just stick together, only Jews, no one is looking out for us, we have to fight for ourselves. And I get that, but we've conflated and collapsed national identity with individual, like, values, like Hamas, Netanyahu. Those regimes don't represent the bulk majority of people in the Middle East are living their lives like all of us. They don't feel empowered to change the entire government. They feel as helpless as we do about Trump and are trying to figure it out. I mean, this is a worldwide phenomenon, but like, oh, this happened with the Nakba, this happened with the Holocaust. Like, we've had to learn about all of these things. We have to educate, re-educate, relearn. And I think that's something we all are responsible for. But one thing that really just keeps coming up for me is like, and I think as we move into the cross of the sleeping phoenix too, it's like human beings have been horrible to each other. We have destroyed each other over land, beliefs, power, gender. And it's like, we need to take it back to like 101, first day of pre-K basics. Like, don't pull the other kid's hair. Don't throw paint at them. I mean, I'm being facetious here, but it's just like, it really is like we don't.
humanity. This is making me think of like someone who was on the growing list of egregious MAGA mouthpieces last week. Jillian Michaels, the celebrity trainer. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw that. She went on the news and was downplaying slavery. Now, this woman is a lesbian who's adopted a black child, maybe two. She was married to her wife in Africa, by indigenous people there. And I don't know what happened.
Isn't she
to
like
her brain.
half
Well, that's the
Jewish? Yeah.
worst part. This is what's even more insane. Like, so she went on saying, oh, there's been slavery in every culture for thousands of years, parroting the whole slavery wasn't so bad insanity that's going on. Well, guess what? I was like, let me look her up. Well, she is half Jewish, and her mother is Jewish, and her father is Lebanese and Syrian. So talk about somebody who could be like the voice for peace, like, and is choosing. She's an Aquarius, so she's clearly been abducted by Pluto along with her sense. But she has really just like, she has missed an opportunity. So this is like, I mean, Taylor Swift is on the innocuous end of the spectrum. I think Jillian Michaels is on the more insidious. Like, what are you doing? Why are you using your platform to do that?
I just saw like on I was like putting together a trundle bed for my niece to sleep in, and played on Netflix, I think it was an expose of The Biggest Loser that she was, and like the harm it did to people, and they had all these clips of her like yelling in people's faces, like everybody just gained all the weight back. They had no follow-up program, which is the case with all these reality shows. It's like, come on, we love you, you're great. Okay, cameras off, we're done. I mean, that happened, on the show we worked on right after the weddings. They went home and there was no like trying to keep them together. It's like, oh, who cares? We're done with you. I'm like, all right. I don't know. It's just like that throwaway culture is hopefully coming to an end with the cross of planning. We've got the plans. We just don't have the maintenance plan here. So back to this week, Venus and Leo.
I mean, this is this week. Venus and Leo calling out the superficiality of things too. Like it's
especially trining Neptune on Tuesday.
Like, beautiful, glamorous, famous, but like have some freaking integrity and morals here, okay? Like, and it's trine Neptune. Like, get your damn head out of the sand and get out of denial. Neptune in Aries is, you have buried your navel gazing so far that your head is coming out of the back of your spine. Like you are so deep into yourself that you don't even see anything. And so that's one thing to be careful of with Neptune and Aries, trining Venus and Leo, like extreme self-absorption.
That's on Tuesday. Yep.
That's on Tuesday.
But then Wednesday, Venus
be a beautiful spiritual time too. It could also be a time of like
awakening.
What I would say is like, all like cultures and religions and traditions, or people who are being erased, their history, their stories, their ancestry, their rituals should be as flamboyant as possible. We're going to be doing a tea ceremony with our friend Eric that day, so I am going to channel the power of Venus and Neptune for that. So
I love that.
Yeah, so like call in that spiritual consciousness. And then we're going to need it. We're going to need it on Wednesday, because that's the day that Venus is opposite Pluto in Aquarius. And trines are nice and flowy. Oppositions, face-offs. So, Pluto in Aquarius, again, that oligarch tech, or else disruption of society as we know it.
And then systems.
This is where we need some artists. We need the artists.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's why this is coming up, because Venus and Leo is the artist to allow, who like Madonna, a Leo.
I'm going to summon. We just drove by his high school, and you probably
Quincy Jones.
Yeah, so right, we're driving around Seattle, near where Tali lives, was it Garfield High School? And it was where Quincy Jones went. I mean, and I started
they have a Quincy Jones auditorium.
I started singing We Are the World, and was about to like start explaining the whole USA for Africa celebrity, like super song that was created in the 80s. If you haven't heard it, you may
There's an amazing documentary about it, actually, the making of We Are the World. It was like they had all
George
of
Michael and
yeah,
Michael Jackson.
it was during the Grammys.
Cindy
They had
Lauper.
like all these Lionel Richie and Quincy Jones were like, let's get these top artists to come to the studio and just record, stay up all night and go. So like they all,
wow.
it was like a one, it's so fascinating to see Michael Jackson there, like, you know, it's like all the drama about Cyndi Lauper doing her part, but it was like they did come together to raise money for Africa, for the famine there. I mean, it was like, yeah, the artists.
Well, there's another famine going on, and there's a lot of artists, and you know,
starvation and war. There's a
famine. There's a few of them. Yeah, there's a few of them, and for sure.
I mean, they are just
too.
So
get it together, artists. Get it together, and you know what? And it does show. Like, yes, I know the music industry isn't what it is. Like, it's so polarized now between the artists and the managers and the record executives. But I'm sorry, you have money and you have influence. You have a platform and you have influence. Use it.
I'd like to just see. I mean, like,
My
what are they
favorite
going
is
to
when
do?
I
Kick
see-
them off? They're not going to kick a Grammy-winning artist off the label for. I mean, and if they do, that artist is going to find another label that picks them up. It's like we're all. That's where the cross of planning and these systems. These systems have become a chokehold. Like,
Yeah.
you can't express yourself freely. You can't. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we have remained independent, even if that means working our asses off 7 days a week sometimes, because we don't want to be owned or bought by investors, which brings us to something really important that we want you guys to know about. If you are considering a fall mastermind, and if you're someone who wants to say F the man, no, I'm kidding, or who wants to just like, who really does believe in making your own way, being an entrepreneur, and that doesn't mean being poor and starving and working 7 days a week at all. I mean, there's plenty of days that and every day of those 7 days
I love
go
working
out
every day because I love what I do.
I work in my own pace, my own flow, no matter what. And that's the beauty. If you're someone who wants that lifestyle, we are bringing back our Astropreneurs course. So what's an astropreneur? An astrology loving entrepreneur who wants to use spiritual technology to design a career they love. So
by that, we mean your birth chart and our IM system. So yeah, we have designed a 10-week mastermind. Limited number of people will be, so it's first come, first serve. And we are going to teach you everything that we have learned over the last 25 plus years, probably 30 now.
Plus, that's a good way of saying it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to admit how long it's been since I graduated from art school, but fine, 31 years. But
wow, it has been.
It has been that long. But
so
you know
Photoshop,
what?
Adobe Photoshop was like,
it was in 1994. But guess, you know what? You might even not have been born at that time. You're invited too. So if you are someone who would like to start to build an off-ramp from that soul-draining corporate job, or just wants to keep your corporate job but have something fulfilling, or any way that you want to do it. I mean, one of the things about the cross of planning, ending, and moving to the sleeping phoenix in human design, one of the shadows that we're in right now, I've been reading about, is that these systems are oppressing people's individuality. People are so unhappy. I've been working with a lot of entrepreneurs really for the last 2 years, and this year more than ever, and a lot of people in corporate. And I don't know if I know one person who's happy in this corporate system that they're in.
And even if they like their jobs,
they love what they do,
but
the coworkers.
But the corporate system can be oppressive. I mean, that is one of the reasons why we also self-publish our annual guides, because we don't have to get these 30-page contracts where you can't do this and you can't do this and you can't
And
do
they
that.
own everything that you make. And
We've seen it all. We've been screwed over. We've learned all the lessons. We've lived through the internet era. Now we're in the AI era.
And we've adapted. We have
Adaptability.
We've
is
had
everything.
disruptions in 2019 when, astrology apps like CoStar started getting funded. And then during the pandemic, a lot of people learned astrology and there were disruptions in our industry. And, people started calling us the OGs of astrology. And that was, it was flattering, but also like, oh shit, we better,
We're old. No.
yeah, you think we're old, but I know it was said with respect, but it was also like, yeah, we are, because we have continuously grown and adjusted and learned and differentiated ourselves more than anything. And that is something that we're so passionate about teaching people, because so many people like either give up or they have a great idea, but they don't know the how, when, why, and where to execute.
What are some of the things that why don't you give them a little taste of the curriculum? It's going to be 10 weeks from September 13th until November the 15th. We meet Saturdays from 12 to 2 Eastern, and every module is recorded so you can watch at your own pace or join live.
We do teach it live,
which is great because if you can't make it, like just watching the interaction. So what are some of the things that are going to get out of Astro?
Yeah, so we're going to introduce you to our I Am system. Some of you guys have already used it or dabbled with it, but it's going to be one of the guiding. You're going to use your birth chart, but as an archetype all throughout. And you're going to learn everything from who's your kindred spirit customer? What's a way that you can actually connect with them? What are the problems you're solving for people, really? The ones that they want. How can you actually go and find your people? Where are they? What prices should you set? A lot of people are just, especially if they've had jobs and they've never really charged for their services, or they're not sure, like if they're ready. Maybe you got a certification in something, but you're like, I don't know what to charge. We have a whole metric for figuring that out. We have a design your personal brand with astrology module. So you'll learn the colors, fonts, just all the inspiration from art. We have graphic design and photography degrees from the University of Michigan. We had our own boutique design agency called Meteorology that we did for years while we were on ramping this astro career. And, we loved working on other people's brands. We still consult on them. Very specific, practical, actionable things. Timelines for launching, how to stay really on task with your goals too. We're going to give you stuff for your mindset, for sticking with your goals. We're going to give you stuff for connecting with your ideal kindred spirit customer so that you really understand who you're doing this for. I feel like most astropreneurs, they say start with why. I think when you know your why, but you don't know your how, your when, your where, and even your what, that's where astropreneurs can really help you. You know what you're passionate about, but you're like, I want to plug this in, and it's hard to do it alone. It can get overwhelming. So we're going to support you with that for those 10 weeks. And we are going to also do what we call astro audits throughout, where we will pick a few key business. You can apply to have your idea or business astro audited, and it's like a live hot seat. So you can also see live demonstration of how someone has that kind of epiphany around what they're doing. And you don't have to be astro audited either. It's just an option, but some people really love it. And even if you're just watching them, it's great. So anyways, astropreneurs, find out about it at astrostyle.com/astropreneurs. It's like entrepreneurs with astro. Dropping the link in the show notes. That's astrostyle.com/astropreneurs. So if you're looking for a fall mastermind, a support group that is going to really walk you through, we have a payment plan available, and it's affordably priced. And there's some awesome people in there with some really creative, cool businesses at various stages, some not even launched, but have some new skills they want to start from scratch with, some partway through.
People really make friends in our groups too. I love it. Like they get to know each other and meet in person, and then we meet a lot of you guys in person. So it's just it's
a
going to
love fest that will also, lead to money, fulfillment, maybe both, maybe all.
Let's give these oligarchs a run for their data centers and take Pluto in Aquarius and this yacht into our own hands, because
the week finishes
off just perfectly. UBI, Elon.
Speaking of We Are the World and entrepreneurship, on Sunday, August 31st, the grand finale of the month before we go into a very active, busy September, we have the waxing quarter moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a sign of global connections. It's a sign of entrepreneurship, education, independence, freedom. So it's a perfect time to jump into Astropreneurs if it calls for you. Use your influence to connect people. Find your inner Quincy Jones, Cyndi Lauper, Michael Jackson, George Michael. Who else was in We Are the World? I feel like there were just, I'm going to go watch
Bono, I think. Yeah.
Sometimes I get it mixed up with the
Duran.
Yeah, okay. Okay, because sometimes I get it mixed up with that. Do they know it's
right? I think
time at all?
Right. That was Bono, wasn't that? Yeah. Well, we'll have to watch it. You have to watch the 80s. Watch it on Netflix, but watch the behind the scenes of it. It was so good. It was like inspiring and cool. It was great to see Quincy Jones in action. What a maestro.
Who's going to be our next Quincy Jones? Like, could Taylor Swift could she do it?
I just saw Lady Gaga in concert, but even like she didn't even really. She did Born This Way, but she didn't even make that strong of a message about like queer solidarity. I was kind of surprised. I mean, I think maybe it was like, well, duh, you're in Seattle here. Like people are at this point in time, a friendly space for especially the trans community, but I don't want to speak outside because there might be people in the community who are like, what the hell are you talking about? But I think there are a lot of places where it is supportive here. And but still, I would have liked to have heard
something. Just say something, anything.
Venuses and Leo.
MAGA people have no problem saying stuff, dropping hints, dog whistling.
Shy. People have gotten timid. People have gotten, there is a normalization, there's a fatigue, there's a wearing down, and we just can't afford to stop talking. We cannot afford to go into our fear and be.
I mean, by all means, take a break and like, learning human design and building out the Astropreneurs course and all these other things have saved my nervous system in 2025. I had to take my brain out of the news feed for some periods of time. But doing this podcast and many other things have been an outlet for feeling like I'm not ignoring it. Like find a way to unplug from the bullshit and a way to use your voice and your platform, however big or small, to fight it and fight for humanity. I'm on the Virgo, so Virgo season has me on the Sag soapbox. But quarter moon. But you know what? That's my prescription for getting through the rest of 2025. Like, please, whoever's listening.
I know. And on a lighter note, that quarter moon in Sagittarius does come with Labor Day weekend here in the United States. So it is going to be nice for traveling, bringing some ease. That's the night at Burning Man that the temple burns this year. So every Burning Man, it's not just a bunch of hippies having orgies and doing drugs in the desert,
fleeing for mudstorms.
I mean, there's plenty of that going on, but it's actually a really sacred process where if you take it, and it's hard to not after you've been there if you actually don't just fly a plane in for the weekend for your favorite DJ and you stay and you become part of creating and building this incredible city, and seeing the art. And every year they build this amazing temple. David Best, an artist, was doing it for many years, and he would get these like giant, I mean, literally like multiple stories high. And he would get these like interlocking wood pieces from toy factories, like gorgeous, ornate, detailed. And then on Sunday at the end of the week, so what starts to happen, you walk around, it's like beautiful art, and then towards the end of the week they start to burn it. That's what they call it, Burning Man. They build this man on Saturday, so you've like been interacting, you're like, think you've got your bearings, you're getting really like comfortable, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, it's gone. So it's like a real lesson in permanence. Yeah. And so all throughout the week, people, they bring pictures of deceased loved ones, of pets who have passed. They write messages to people who are dealing with addictions. They put like, it becomes this giant altar. I'm getting chills just talking about it because, you know, I sent a little special message there with my friend Molly. Thank you, Molly, for putting that in the temple for me. And yeah, it's gonna burn this Sunday during that Sag fiery quarter moon, and this very like Sag, this shamanic energy. And I think the theme of Burning Man changes every year. It's like tomorrow, today this year. So it's kind of like very that like it kind of fits with that popular mechanics. What timeline are we on? So maybe you want to do a little burning ritual, like create some kind of an altar of things that you don't know how to answer on this plane, don't know how to work with. Why is this happening? Or send up prayers. Please, universe, bring humanity back. Yeah.
Which was what, 2009. I went for my wedding. Yeah. And I went with my friend Harry, who is a Sagittarius, who actually died the day before Trump's inauguration.
Wow.
This year. And I have a picture of him in the temple where he wrote in little letters, "I've let it go," like something that he was holding on to. So I remember just that powerful moment. So we don't have to go to Burning Man to have those moments, like you said, like just any kind of intention and ritual. We're going from the Virgo new moon toward the Pisces full moon. We're in the halfway
starting
point.
And the Pisces starting as a eclipse.
Total lunar eclipse there. So like this is an extra powerful midpoint between the new moon and the full moon. So
I would even suggest, if you want to up the ante to the Burning Man level, burning something that you know you need to let go of. Maybe it's a picture or something, or, you know, some papers, but that you've been holding on to. Our aunt wrote this book before she died of ovarian cancer in 2016, and I need to get another copy of it. But that was a year where I went. I just went with my husband Corey, and it was just the two of us, and it was a kind of a grieving year in a lot of ways. And I just read her whole book. It was hard to read it because it was like I lived through the experience, but it was like hearing her write about her pain and her friends. And I mean, it was like, but I put it in the temple and let it burn.
I think it was the thing that like,
it was like
distracted her from like we just said. So, but yeah, it's like
it was like
not everything needs to be like we were saying that last week.
I'll get another copy of it.
Burnings, but like that diaries of Scorpio moon.
But the pain of that story of what she lived through, like it wasn't about like I'm burning this to get rid of it. It was about like, let this be cleansed by the sacredness of fire. Let it be regenerated. Let it, you know, become transmuted and, you know, healed in the process. So that's the intention that I would put. That's the intention I would put into anything. If you're going to have a little safety first fire ceremony.
Taylor Swift's the Sag. So I'm going to close out by saying burn your marketing plan and do something more powerful, Taylor.
Yeah, well, let's see what her marketing plan is. Maybe by October 3rd, she'll. I don't know, though. It's orange, it's flamboyant, it's bright, it's totally better for the year of the fire horse, which starts next February. But you know what? We'll see. We shall see. Or it'll just holding out for a hero, but I don't know. I mean, we all need escape. We all need a break, but like this is not the time to take it. This is we're like. Anyways, we've said our piece. We stood on our we stood on our soapbox long enough.
And this, everyone, is Virgo season and Venus in Leo. Yeah. Well, all right. We will see you on the other side of August, and wishing you a powerful, Venus week, Venus's peace, love, and harmony. May there be much of that for you. And
don't be a showgirl, be a showrunner. That's what I say. Mm-hmm. All right, till next week, everyone, and find us at AstroTwins on Instagram. We'll be popping in with videos all week, so see you around.
Thanks for tuning in to AstroTwins Radio. If today's episode gave you an aha moment, we'd be over the moon if you left us a 5-star review. It helps fellow astrology lovers find us. And make sure to hit subscribe and follow us on iTunes and Spotify so you never miss an episode. Want the full visual experience? You can also watch the video version on our YouTube at AstroTwins-TV. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at AstroTwins and head over to astrostyle.com to read your free daily, weekly, and monthly horoscope that we write for you with love. Until next time, move with intention and let the universe meet you there.